Hello, this is Jacqueline Bamanek with Vibrational Energy Solutions, here with Soul Byte 3, welcoming you into the doorway to your divine destiny. Today, I would love to share with you some thoughts about Maslow's hierarchy of needs and taking them a little bit deeper. And so we really want to create a foundation of stability within ourselves. But in order to do that, we first have to come home to our heart, feeling embodied and present within our own body and being. So often life is chaotic, it's filled with distractions, and we're constantly having to, look, squirrel! That takes us out of being present with what we're creating, what we'd like to manifest in our lives. And so often we get off track. And as a byproduct, we don't feel stable in our lives. We may opt for distraction techniques that could include bad habits. It could include things that make us not so conscious, such as drugs, alcohol, shopping, pornography, the nudes. You know, there's all these different directions that in today's age, when I was growing up, we went outside to play. There wasn't the internet, there wasn't video games, there was only 4 stations on the television. And today there's so many more choices that are available for adults as well as our youth. And so I want to bring this to the forefront because we really get to be cognizant, aware of our choices that we are making a priority in our lives, so that we're not distracted, we're not focusing and giving our attention to what really isn't of the utmost importance, of what we say matters, of what we say we want to create in our lives. So as far as Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the first need is physiology. It's the need for sleep, it's the need for food, water, and shelter, and to be in good health, to have, well, actually that comes into the second hierarchy of the needs, which is safety. So that is having resources to better our health, to better our body, to better our being. And so many are without basic necessities these days. So that first level of needs is often not being met. And as a consequence, the second need, the second level of safety, is not being met either. So what I'm bringing this all for you today is so that you can actually come home to your heart and know that no matter what's going on in your life, you can be embodied, creating your own safety, being the source of love, validation, approval, and knowing that space within yourself. So when something happens that you have no control over, which, let's face it, everybody has free will to choose. So you never have control over what anyone else is going to choose in their lives. And sometimes this can cause instability when we have not created that source of embodiment and presence within our own hearts. So here we are. So those are the 2 primary levels of the hierarchy of needs. Then you have love and belonging on that next level, which is family, friends, it's intimacy, it's connection, it's staying open with our flow of communication. And so often that gets shut down, and we all have free will to choose, and when you get shut down in your communication, what happens for you? And I know in the past for me, it causes me to shut down. And so being that source of the embodied presence, of being home in our heart, creating that stability, will allow you to allow everybody else to be and do whatever they are needing to be and do for themselves, so you can focus in on what's your priority, which is taking care of you. Remember, when we're on an airplane and they say if the oxygen masks come down, first put your oxygen mask on yourself and then help those around you. Doesn't matter if they're small children or not, because if you haven't taken care of you, you can't take care of somebody else. So with that, we go into that next phase, which is self-esteem. It's confidence, it's achievement, it's feeling good about ourselves and being a contribution and being in that flow of generosity. And when we can be a contribution to others, we always feel better about ourselves. So take a moment to feel into the gift of you and say, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for making me me, because I know that I get to be a contribution. And this is my way of being a contribution in the world. How do you get to step forward and use your unique skills and talents to feel like you're contributing? It could be to your family, it could be to friends, it could be to a local animal shelter, it could be a number of things, different organizations that appeal to your heart and your passions. So then we go into also, like, how are you creating self-respect? And by self-respecting yourself, you also call others into that level of respect for you. And then we also have our own autonomy that fits in there. We are all unique individuals. Oftentimes in the past, I chameleoned, which means I fit into situations with a trauma background and fear of abandonment. That caused me to look at my environment and ask myself, who do I need to be in this scenario to keep myself safe? So I want to ask you, is that something that you do as well? Because until you are discovering who you are authentically, on a soul level, connected to your heart, oftentimes we will chameleon and we will create safety, especially if you're a high-level empath or highly sensitive, because you are always reading your environment to ask, what is it that I need to do to create safety right now so that you can remain safe? Life isn't about remaining safe all the time. Sometimes we're going to have to take risks. We are going to have to ask ourselves, who am I? Is this activity that I'm engaging in, is it aligned with me, with my mission, with my vision of my life, of who I get to be in this world? The beautiful gift of the person that you are. You get to ask yourself that question. So then we go into that next phase, which is self-actualization, which is, it's taking a look at your morals, your priorities, imagination, creativity, what lights you up, who do you get to be accepted by yourself? What is your spontaneity? If you are in the flow of being you, what are the spontaneous choices that you are passionate about that bring purpose and mission forward in your life? That is an invitation that allows you to feel like you are living a more fulfilled life. So that is an invitation. Let's create meaning for you in whatever way that looks like. And that will activate your inner potential. So we need to be honest with ourselves. We need to ask ourselves, what wounded patterns affected us from shining our light, bringing the truth of who we are being? Because our parents didn't have an instruction manual when it came to raising us, and oftentimes they did the best they could from a wounded state, because each one of us carries a wound that was generated by the generations before us. On my dad's side of the family, there was scarcity, lack, poverty, but on the great side of that, there was love of nature, being free-spirited, which I am. That's why I'm the mystical nomad. And on my mom's side of the family, there was abandonment wounds. There was not feeling good enough. There was the conforming to life and to what was needed to, for me and her, not be seen, not be heard, not state your needs, not shine too bright, don't be noticed. And what that creates is that lack. What we want to step away from is the feeling of loss, the feeling of being less than, or the feeling of never being enough, never having what you need. Because those three things, being less than, being in a lost state of I've lost a relationship, or I've lost a family member because they died, or I lost my house, I lost my job, I lost myself. Those are very disempowering statements and patterns. So we get to stand confidently in who we each are and realize that these wounded patterns exist, and we get to be in that state of willingness for generational healing to occur. And we're going to talk more about that in the Doorway to Your Divine Destiny program and give you solid resources to help you to live a more fulfilled life. So I invite you to acknowledge the trials of your life as well as life's lessons, and see them as opportunities for growth to make you better and not bitter, and to celebrate the wins of who you are as you align with your truth, live in integrity, and bring forth the authentic version of you. So this is Jacqueline, and your invitation is also to acknowledge, where do you get to steer clear of negativity? Where do you get to look at those who diminish you in your life and stand in your own self-respect, self-responsibility? First of all, to not allow others to impress upon you their beliefs, because oftentimes it's a reflection for how they're feeling about themselves. And then allow yourself to create your own firm foundation of stability where you are unwavering in love for you and with you, knowing you are never alone, that you have generations of wisdom, of strengths. And on my mom's side, my strengths that I was blessed with were intuition, were business skills and entrepreneurialism, strength, resiliency, courage. So I invite you to ask yourself, what are the patterns, the trauma patterns that I inherited? And we will work with them further. So this is Jacqueline with Vibrational Energy Solutions, inviting you to see yourself, love yourself, stand unwavering in love with you, and know that you are not alone. Bye for now. Sending so much love your way.